Shalom, shalom, shalom. Let's see if I got volume. Okay, we got volume. All righty. We should be a go on all platforms. This is Elvin Israel from the Assembly of Sound Doctrine Chandler, AOSD-CHANDLER, as well as one of the lead instructors of rpk-resurrection prophecy and kingdom, as well as one of the lead instructors of Garden Ministries. If you have not, go to Amazon and purchase the book, The Circumcision and Uncircumcision of Genesis chapter 1, Mysteries of the Garden Revealed. And we are presently working on an 11 volume commentary on the book of Revelation. Each volume is going to have 2 chapters, each broken down to the T. So everyone can see more of a spiritual, deeper way of exegeting the book of Revelation. It's going to be something new. It's going to take it away from anything that you have ever heard before in the past. It's going to be a lot of new information. Shalom to everyone on the panel. How you doing, brothers? Yes, one volume. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna in all this, we're gonna release 11 volumes. We're gonna do one volume at a time. Yes, sir. Indeed, indeed. And if y'all don't know, that is Michael Israel, my brother Wilson talking, the co-author of the commentary of the book of Revelation. And we got my brother Tony also. Shalom, brother Tony. How you doing? Yes, sir. You guys will be seeing some pictures with me and these brothers, these wonderful brothers, in just a few weeks. It might be just next week or the week after that, but I will be going to visit my brethren up north, and my brethren down south. I'll be going to visit my brothers and break bread with them, just like we have been doing the past few years. All praises to the Most High. Now, do you guys want to say anything before I get started? All right. So, okay, go ahead, bro. All right. So, this lesson is going to be entitled Jesus Correcting the Lying Torah. And a lot of people don't understand what happened with the Torah in a specific time period, especially dealing with a Josiah, King Josiah. So, what we're going to do today, we're going to go through some of that history that people overlook. Because when you start talking about how glorious the Torah is and etc., and when you guys start looking at Moses and the Torah before you look at Christ, and when we talk about Christ, you bring up Moses and the Torah, we finna go through today why Christ had to supersede what Moses brought out, because a lot of things got discombobulated dealing with the Torah. A lot of things got put in, added to. It went wrong. The Torah that we have today, even presented in our Bible, if you guys want to talk about scholars and scholarship, they put the dating of the completion of the 5 book of Moses around the Babylonian captivity. Let me say that again. The scholars in today's world put the completion of the 5 books of Moses around the Babylonian captivity. So that would mean some of the element that was brought out from the time period of Moses coming out of Egypt was lost, and it was replaced by some of the elements that came out of Babylon. Some of it, not all of it, but some of it. So, what we're going to do today, we're going to show with 100% proof that the Torah was redacted. What we have, the 5 books, a majority of it or some of it was redacted and given to Israel. So when the Lord, the Messiah, came first century, he was dealing with this whole thing of some of the message of Torah having been changed and what he had to come to do in order to give people the bigger goal, the kingdom of heaven. So what we're going to go through today, we're going to actually show that. We're not just going to say it, we're going to show it. So everyone who has a Bible, the only way that this works is if you open that Bible and follow along with me. That's the only way that this works. And we're going to be reading out of the JPS, the Jewish Publication Society Old Testament, which is supposed to be a translation, the most accurate translation from the Masoretic. That's what they say. You can take it or leave it. You can still look it up in the KJV or the Brenton, but I want to go to my Hebraic sources today. We're going to start in Second Kings. Second Kings. We're finna walk down this history of what happened dealing with Torah, and then we're going to show the conclusion of what when the Messiah came, how he actually upgraded, how he was what was needed to upgrade the knowledge of the Lord, because the knowledge of the Lord had been lost. Second Kings 22. We're going to start at Second Kings 22. All right, let's get there. Second Kings 22, verses 3 and 4. It says, and it came to pass in the 18th year, so this is the 18th year reign of King Josiah. Remember that name, because that name is going to be brought up a lot. King Josiah, that sent Shaphan, the son of Azaliah, the son of Meshullam, the scribe, to the house of the Lord, saying, go up to Hilkiah, the high priest, that he may sum the money which is brought into the house of the Lord, which the keepers of the door have gathered of the people. So you have the scribe of the king. Scribe is meant to, write things down, keep records, and etc. The scribe of the king saying, hey, go to the high priest who's in the temple, get some of the earnings from the temple. So when he does that, in the 18th year reign of Josiah, this is what happens. Verse number 8. And Hilkiah, the high priest, said unto Shaphan, the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. First thing first, understand, he did not say, I have found the books of the law. He didn't say that. He didn't say, I have found plethora of books. He said, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah delivered the book to Shaphan, and he read it. And Shaphan the scribe came to the king and brought back word unto the king and said, thy servants have poured out the money that was found in the house, and have delivered it unto the hand of the workmen that have the oversight of the house of the Lord. And Shaphan the scribe told the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest had delivered me a book, And Shaphan read it before the king. And it came to pass, when the king had heard the words of the book of the law, that he rent his clothes. Okay, so it's been introduced to King Josiah that in the process of them trying to find the money for the in the temple and etc., the priest, the high priest, has found the book of the law. The king did not know about the book of the law. The king was astounded when he heard the words from the book of the law. Trust me, all of this is going to make sense as time progresses. Just walk with me. And the king commanded Hilkiah, the priest, and Ahiakim, the son of Shaphan, and Akbar, the son of Micaiah, and Shaphan the scribe, and Azaziah the king's servant, saying, Go ye, inquire of the Lord for me, and for the people, and for all Judah, concerning the words of this book that is found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is kindled against us, because our fathers have not hearkened unto the words of this book, to do according unto all that which was written concerning us. So Hilkiah the priest, and Achikam, and Akbar, and Shaphan, and Isaiah went unto Hodiah the prophetess, the wife of Shalom, the son of Tikvah, the son of Harhas, keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt in Jerusalem in the second quarter, and they spoke with her. And she said unto them, Thus said the Lord, the God of Israel, Tell ye the man that sent you unto me. Thus said the Lord, Behold, I will bring evil upon this place and upon the inhabitants thereof, even all the words of the book which the king of Judah hath read, because they have forsaken me and have offered unto other gods, that they might provoke me with all the work of their hands. Therefore, my wrath shall be kindled against this place, and it shall not be quenched. Okay, so they said that they found the book of the law. And then he goes, the prophetess goes on to explains the curse, particular of the curses in the book, because that's what they read to the king, and the king rent his clothes because of the curses that was written. Now, the part that's interesting is it's a quote from not directly what we have, but in Deuteronomy 29:25 through 28, it says, Then men shall say, because they forsook the covenant of the Lord, the God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, and went and served other gods and worshiped them, gods that they knew not and that they had not allotted unto them. Therefore the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curse that is written in this book. So notice, they are using what's found in Deuteronomy as the law of the Lord that was found in the days of Josiah. Let me say that again, because all of this is going to be very important later on. Okay, so Josiah that was given, and it was read to Josiah things out of the book of Deuteronomy. Okay, not Exodus, not Genesis, not Leviticus, not Numbers. They found the book of the law of the Lord, and he quoted it. He quoted what was some, well, the prophetess quoted what was some in the book, which comes from Deuteronomy. We go to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy says this is the book. So we're dealing with Deuteronomy right now. Okay, let's continue on. Because trust me, all of this is going to make sense. So I'm giving you the background now. So let's find out what happened after they received the book. 2 Kings 23, 1 through 4. And the king sent, and they gathered unto him all the elders of Judah and of Jerusalem. And the king went up to the house of the Lord, and all the men of Judah, and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem with him, and the priests, and the prophets, and all the people, both small and great. And he read in their ears all the words of the book of the covenant, which was found in the house of the Lord. So the king is reading from pretty much Deuteronomy to the people. Okay? Verse 3. And the king stood on the platform and made a covenant before the Lord to walk after the Lord and to keep his commandments and his testimonies and his statutes with all his heart and all his soul, to confirm the words of the covenant that were written in this book. And all the people stood to the covenant. And the king commanded Hilkiah, the high priest, and the priests of the second order, and the keepers of the door, to bring forth out of the temple of the Lord all the vessels that were made for Baal, and for Asherah, and for all the host of heaven, and he burned them without Jerusalem in the fields of Kidron, and carried the ashes of them unto Bethel. Oh man, doesn't it not sound like the reformation of Josiah was incredible? Incredible. Then verse 5. And he put down the idolatrous priest whom the kings of Judah had ordained to offer in the high places in the cities of Judah and in the places round about Jerusalem. Them also that offered unto Baal, to the sun, and to the moon, and to the constellations, and to the host of heaven. So Judah had these priests that they designated to do this pretty much idolatrous work. And according to the author of Second Kings, Josiah came in and he did away with all of that wickedness. Then we're going to get to 21. And the king commanded all the people, saying, keep the Passover unto the Lord your God, as it is written in this book of the covenant. For there was not, for there was not kept such a Passover from the days of the judges that judged Israel, nor in all the days of the king of Israel, nor of the kings of Judah. But in the 18th year of King Josiah was this Passover kept to the Lord in Jerusalem. And you go to Deuteronomy 16 and 1. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Okay, so once again, Josiah, great, incredible man, king that established all righteousness again, right? They found the book of the law. They brought it to Josiah. Josiah stopped all the idolatry work and etc. We're going to go to Second Chronicles 35, 18 through 20. And there was no Passover like it, and etc. Let's go to 20. Well, I'm going to read 19 and 20. And in the 18th year of the reign of Josiah was this Passover kept. Verse 20. After all of this, when Josiah had prepared the temple, Necho, king of Egypt, went up to fight against Carchemish by the Euphrates, and Josiah went out against him. And if you read verses 22 and 23, you find out that Josiah is killed. Okay, so hold on, let me read 36 before we do a synopsis of what happened. Then you go to Second Chronicles 36, 5-6. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord his God. Against him came up Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and bound him in fetters to carry him to Babylon. Okay, so this is the process, right? This is how the authors of Second Kings and Second Chronicles did this. Josiah, perfect, wonderful king of Judah. He goes down, to get the money for the temple and stuff to actually prepare the temple and etc. The book of the law that Moses wrote, which we know is Deuteronomy now, the book of the covenant, is brought to him. He takes the book, it's read to him. He rents his clothes. He goes and tells them to go to a prophet or the prophetess to make sure these things are correct. The things are correct. Josiah eventually comes back. He gathers all the people under his rulership. He reintroduced them to the Torah. They have a celebration. Everything is restored. A reformation occurs, and then he's killed. All right? That's the story. That's the story. Now, we're finna go into some of the details of what was going on through all of this. Let's get ready to buckle your safety belts because this ride is finna get rough. We're gonna go to Jeremiah 15. Jeremiah 15, who was during the days of Josiah and Jehoiakim, Jeremiah, right? So Jeremiah 15 and 16. Listen to what Jeremiah 15 and 16 says. Thy words were found. This is the finding of the book of the law. Thy words were found, and I did eat them. So the word of the covenant was found. Jeremiah did eat them. Okay, he didn't literally take them and eat them. That's more like he was the words was put on his inward parts and stuff. And thy words were unto me a joy and the rejoicing of my heart, because thy name was called on me, O Lord God of hosts. So Jeremiah heard the true Torah. Jeremiah heard the true law that was found. Now, let's go back. Jeremiah 8. We're going to read 8 through 9. He says, how do ye say, we are wise, and the law of the Lord is with us? Y'all see? So this is after the discovery of the law. We are wise, and the law of the Lord is with us. Lo, certainly in vain hath wrought the vain pen of the scribes. The wise men are ashamed. They are dismayed and taken. Lo, they have rejected the word of the Lord, and what wisdoms is in them. Hold on now. What did Jeremiah just say? Now we got to catch what is actually being stated here. They received the law of the Lord. They received it. Jeremiah said, How are they saying they are wise and the law of the Lord was with them? Lo, certainly in vain. They had said this in vain, that the law of the Lord was with them in vain. Why? Had wrought the vain pen of the scribes. Now, let me show you what this says in the Sefer Bible, which was, supposed to be translated from the Hebrew as well. It says, how do you say we are wise with the Torah of Yahuwah, and the Torah of Yahuwah is with us? Lo, certainly, the lion pen of the scribes had made it a lie. What is Jeremiah testifying here? He saw the law of the Lord. He ate the law of the Lord. So, whatever the scribes are presenting is not the law of the Lord that Jeremiah saw. Whatever the scribes are presenting is what's not what Jeremiah saw, neither the king heard, neither what was supposed to be read to the people. The scribes, y'all know the scribes are the writers. The scribes are the one who write down the history, write down the law, and etc. The lying pens of the scribes got involved with the law, bringing forth something not original. They inserted things in the law, making the law not accurate. Now, Isaiah 10 and 1 hits on this subject, and we're going to come right back to it. Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and to the writers that write iniquity, that turn aside the needy for judgment, and take away the right of the poor of my people. The widows may be their spoil, that they may make the fatherless their prey. So back to Jeremiah. Jeremiah is saying the lying pens of the scribe has been involved with the law. So whatever was found in the temple is not what was being presented to the people. Now, you might say that's a stretch. We're going to go back one more chapter, Jeremiah 7, and I want you to hear what the Lord told Jeremiah the prophet. Jeremiah 7, verse 22. Follow along with me. Jeremiah 7, verse 22. Listen to what the Lord told Jeremiah. He says, for I spoke not unto your fathers. In fact, let me start at 21. Thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, add your burnt offerings unto your sacrifices, and eat ye flesh. For I spoke not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. Let me say that again, because now I know your mind is going into the Torah and you're like, no, that's not true. That's not true. Let me read it again. Jeremiah 7, 21 and 22. Thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, add your burnt offerings unto your sacrifices, and eat ye flesh. For I spoke not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. He goes on to say, but this thing I commanded them, saying, hearken unto my voice, and I will be your God, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the way that I command you, that it may be well with you. But they hearken not, nor incline their ears, but walked in their own counsels, even in the stubbornness of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward, even since the day that your fathers came out of the land of Egypt until this day. And though I have sent unto you all my servants and prophets, sending them daily, betimes and often, yet they hearken not unto me, nor incline their ear, but made their neck stiff. They did worse than their fathers. So we clearly, we clearly have a problem here. Clearly have a problem here. If the Lord is telling Jeremiah, hey, when you guys came out of Egypt, I ain't say nothing to y'all about no sacrifices and offerings. I ain't said none of that stuff. And then Jeremiah goes on to say about how the lying pen of the scribes have turned the people from the Lord. We have a problem. We have a problem. Now, let's go to Ezekiel, because Ezekiel speaks on this same matter of what happened in Egypt and coming out of Egypt. Did y'all not know that the prophet Ezekiel has a different account on how the Exodus happened compared to the Torah we have today? Let me say that again, because I know there's a lot of Torah Moses lovers out there who would try to fight people to the death to back up a Torah, and they don't even know what the prophets was teaching about the teachers of the Torah. So Ezekiel comes up with a different story on how the Exodus narrative happened compared to the story that we got today from the Masoretic people. All right, let's read it. Let's read it and see if I made that up. Go to Ezekiel chapter 20. Everyone, go to Ezekiel. It only works if you go with me. Don't just listen to me, go with me. Ezekiel 20, we're going to start at verse number, let's see here. Let's start at verse number 4. Ezekiel 20, verse number 4. It says, wilt thou judge them, son of man? Wilt thou judge them? Cause them to know the abominations of their fathers, and say unto them, thus said the Lord God, in the day when I chose Israel, and lifted up my hand unto the seed of the house of Jacob, and made myself known unto them in the land of Egypt. Did y'all know the Lord made himself known unto Israel when he chose those who he chose in the land of Egypt? Let's keep going on, because you guys might say, yes, of course he did, through the plagues. No, that's not Ezekiel's understanding. That's not what Ezekiel said the Lord told him. Let's continue on. When I lifted up my hand unto them, saying, I am the Lord your God. First of all, show me that in the Exodus narrative. Show me when the Lord made himself known unto Israel, when he told them, I am the Lord your God. First, verse 6. In that day I lifted up my hand unto them to bring them forth out of the land of Egypt into a land that I sought out for them, flowing with milk and honey, which is the beauty of all lands. And I said unto them, cast ye away every man the detestable things of your eyes. Show me where the Lord told the children of Israel that while they was in Egypt. Post that verse. Post that verse right there, that the Lord made himself known to the children of Israel while they was in Egypt, and he told them to cast away every detestable things from their sight. Show me that verse. And he says, and defile not yourselves with the idols of Egypt. Show me that verse. I am the Lord your God. See, the Exodus narrative that we got was Pharaoh was being wicked to the Israelites. And the Lord got tired of it, and the Lord told Pharaoh, let my people go. And Pharaoh decided not to let his people go. So he hit Pharaoh with the 10 plagues. Let's see if Ezekiel stated that's what happened. It says, I am the Lord your God, but they rebelled against me. While being in the land of Egypt, Israel rebelled against the Lord. Where is that at? In the Exodus narrative. And would not hearken unto me. They did not every man cast away the detestable things of their eyes, neither did they forsake the idols of Egypt. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them, to spend my anger upon them in the midst of the land of Egypt. Did you know that the Lord was wanting to destroy Israel in the midst of the land of Egypt, like Ezekiel said? Did you know the Lord came to Israel and told them to do away with the detestable things and to cast away all of the other things while they was in Egypt, and they rebelled against him? So he wanted to destroy Israel while being in the land of Egypt? That's nowhere in our Exodus narrative. Let's go to verse 9. But I was wrought for my name's sake, that it should not be profaned in the sight of the nations among whom they were, in whose sight I made myself known unto them, so as to bring them forth out of the land of Egypt. So I caused them to go forth out of the land of Egypt. Now, according to the Exodus narrative we got, the Lord sent them out of the land of Egypt so they could go do sacrifices unto him. Y'all remember? That's what it said. I want them to go into the wilderness and do sacrifices unto me. I want them to go into the wilderness and keep my Passover. And since Pharaoh did not allow them to go into the wilderness to do the sacrifices and keep his Passover, the Lord started bringing forth these curses upon the land of Egypt, so Pharaoh could eventually let them go. But Ezekiel's narrative says He took them out of the land of Egypt so his name wouldn't be defiled, because he wanted to destroy them for being wicked in Egypt. But since he chose them and he didn't want his name defiled amongst the Gentiles, he sent them out of Egypt. Wow. Two totally different narratives. Two totally different narratives. Let's keep going on and find out what happened. Because remember, he told Jeremiah, I didn't tell them about no sacrifices and no offerings and none of that stuff. But in the Exodus narrative, he wanted them to go out to do sacrifices and offerings. Wow. Somebody lying. Somebody is lying. Well, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. Verse number 11. And I gave them my statutes and taught them my ordinances. What if a man do, he shall live by them. Moreover, also I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am the Lord that sanctified them. So all this is found in Deuteronomy and etc. But the house of Israel rebelled against me in the wilderness. They walked not in my statutes, and they rejected my ordinances. What if a man do? He shall live by them, and by Sabbaths they greatly profane. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness to consume them. All right. Now, I want to skip down to verse number 19. I am the Lord your God. Walk in my statutes and keep my ordinances and do them, and hallow my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign between me and you, that ye may know that I am the Lord your God. But the children rebelled against me. They walked not in my statutes, neither kept mine ordinances to do them. Which if a man do, he shall live by them. They profane my Sabbaths. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them, to spend my anger upon them in the wilderness. Nevertheless, I withdrew my hand and wrought for my name's sake, that it should not be profaned in the sight of the nations, in whose sight I brought them forth. I lifted up my hand unto them also in the wilderness, that I would scatter them among the nations and disperse them through the countries, because they had not executed my ordinances, but had rejected my statutes and had profaned my Sabbaths, and their eyes were after their fathers' idols. Wherefore, look at Ezekiel 20:25. Ezekiel 20:25. Let me say it again. Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 25. Wherefore, I gave them also statutes that were not good, and ordinances whereby they should not live. And I polluted them in their own gifts, in that they set apart all that openeth the womb, that I might destroy them, to the end that they might know that I am the Lord. Once again, verse 25. Wherefore I gave unto them also statutes that were not good, and ordinances whereby they should not live. You notice how the law lovers, the Moses lovers, the Torah lovers, the old covenant lovers never speak upon what Ezekiel actually meant in 2025 when he said the Lord gave them statutes that were not good and ordinances whereby they should not live. They also don't speak upon when Jeremiah stated the lion pens of the scribes was in effect during the giving of the Torah, or the reintroduction, the reformation of the temple. They don't also speak on how Jeremiah stated the Lord, in fact, did not tell them to do any sacrifices and offerings when they was coming out of Egypt. Somebody got to explain why we got a whole book dealing with sacrifices and offerings. Somebody got to explain that. Why we got a whole book of them coming out of Egypt and them having all kind of sacrificing and offering ordinances. Let me say this again for the record. Scholars believe the Torah was not completed until they left the Babylonian captivity. Before the Babylonian captivity, that's when Jeremiah was on the scene. And Jeremiah is saying, the Lord is saying the scribes have been lying with their pens. The scribes have been saying something about some offerings and sacrifices that I didn't even ordain. And then you got Ezekiel during the time of the captivity giving us a different narrative about what happened with Exodus. And Ezekiel explained that the Lord gave the people some things that wasn't good. This stuff has to be explained. Now, I'm going to read a little bit more Jeremiah, and I'm going to open it up before I continue on. So, Jeremiah 11, 1 through 4. Jeremiah 11, 1 through 4. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, hear ye the words of this covenant, and speak unto the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and say thou unto them, thus said the Lord, the God of Israel, cursed be the man that heareth not the words of this covenant, which I commanded your fathers in the day that I brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, out of the iron furnace, saying, hearken to my voice, and do them, according to all which I command you. So shall ye be my people, and I will be your God. Now, I want to go to Jeremiah 36. Listen to what is said in Jeremiah 36, 1 and 2. Jeremiah 36, 1 and 2. Once again, Jeremiah chapter 36, verses 1 and 2. It says, and it came to pass in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, the king of Judah. So this is after Josiah is dead. This is when his son is reigning. But listen to what it said. That this word came into Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, take thee a roll of a book, and write therein all the words that I have spoken unto thee against Israel, and against Judah, and against all the nations, from the day I spoke unto thee, from the days of Josiah, even unto this day. What was said unto Jeremiah? Write in a book all the things I have told you from the days of Josiah all the way up into the days of his son Jehoiakim. Now, I thought in the days of Josiah there was a reformation. In the days of Josiah, according to the scribes, Josiah came and reformed everything. He got rid of all of the idolatry. He introduced the book of the law to the people. Everybody was on one accord doing what the covenant told them to do. And it lasted all the way up to Jehoiakim, who became the evil one. So why is Jeremiah saying all of these things that was actually against Israel during the time of Josiah, before he got the covenant, all the way up into him getting getting the covenant all the way up into his son. Why is there always lamentations given if Josiah did this great reformation? Did the Lord not know Josiah did a great reformation? Where is Jeremiah prophesying the great reformation that Josiah done? Since they was all around the same time period, where's Jeremiah explaining how the Lord was so grateful with this quote unquote reformation that Josiah done? Where is any of the people saying how grateful they are of the Lord was for this great reformation that came from Josiah? We have a different narrative. Y'all got to understand, the scribes was doing one hell of a job keeping things hidden hidden and taken away from the Lord. The scribes was doing a fantastic job being anti-Torah. They was remixing left and right. They was covering their tracks and etc. The prophets don't lie. Somebody dropped the ball when it came to transcribing with Jeremiah. And we're going to go through another prophet as well that spoke on these same days. But does anybody got anything they want to say before I continue on? Hello, panel. Am I picking up? Can y'all hear me? Hey, we ain't done yet, bro. We ain't done. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's continue on. We're going to go to Zephaniah. We're going to go to Zephaniah. And let's see what Zephaniah says. I know y'all know a lot of people don't talk about Zephaniah. Zephaniah 1 and 1. The word of the Lord which came into Zephaniah, the son of Cushi, the son of Gedaliah, the son of Amariah, the son of Hezekiah, in the days of Josiah, the son of Amon, king of Judah. So now we got Zephaniah, who came in the days of Josiah. Maybe, maybe Zephaniah came in and started representing this great reformation that was written that Josiah did. Maybe let's see here. Verse number 7 and 8. Hold thy peace at the presence of the Lord God, for the day of the Lord is at hand. For the Lord had prepared a sacrifice. He had consecrated his guests, and it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's sons and all such that are clothed with foreign apparel. Hold on, Lord, don't you know not that Josiah has this great reformation going on, and he reintroduced the covenant to the people? And he killed all the wicked priests, and the priests are going out and they're teaching people the covenant, a great reformation indeed. Why are you threatening to kill us? Zephaniah 3, 1 through 4. Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the hold on, my bad, right there. Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. She hearkened not to the voice, she received not correction. She trusted not in the Lord, she drew not near to her God. Her princes in the midst of her are roaring lions. Her judges are wolves of the desert. They leave not a bone for the morrow. Her prophets are wanton and treacherous persons. Her priests have profaned that which is holy. They have done violence to the law. Hold on now. Hold on. Hold on, Zephaniah. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Hold on. The same law that they found and they gave to the people, that law? You mean to tell me that the priest of in Josiah days done violence to the law? They profaned that which was holy? That's not what the scribes said. They said that during the time of Josiah, that was a great reformation. Oh, Josiah, he came and he destroyed all the wicked priests and got rid of the Astaroth and the Baal and the groves, and he brought people in and they did the Passover, and it had not been such a great Passover since like the Passover in the days of Josiah. Why is there vengeance being proclaimed if Josiah did what the scribe said he did? If the law was presented the correct way, because Jeremiah saw the law, and Jeremiah is like, hey, there's some lying scribes going along. There's some lying scribes out here. Some people are lying about some of this stuff. Now you got Zephaniah, who lived in the same time period. He's stating that the priests in the days of Josiah had profaned that which was holy and had did violence to the law. Now, guess what? There's another occurrence about that. The book of Enoch. Hold on. The book of Enoch, reading during the Grecian time period? Yes. Do you not know that the book of Enoch spoke on this as well? You go to First Enoch 93, dealing with the 10 weeks prophecy. Let's read what was prophesied during the time period that Josiah ruled all the way up to his son. This is First Enoch 93. I want to start at 7. It says, and after that, in the 5th week, as it closes, the house of glory and dominion shall be built forever. Okay, so that's Solomon's temple right there. That's Solomon building the house of God. Now, look at what happened in the 6th week. Verse 8. And after that, in the 6th week, all who live in it shall be blinded, and the hearts of all of them shall godlessly forsake wisdom. And in it a man shall ascend. So you got your Elijah. And at its close, the house of dominion shall be burnt with fire. That's when Jerusalem is destroyed by the Babylonians. And the whole race of the chosen root shall be dispersed. The Jerusalem is destroyed during the time of Josiah's son. But according to First Enoch, all that lived in that time period, and we know it can't be all because Elijah and Elisha, they wasn't wicked, but as a group, it said that they were blinded and their hearts forsook wisdom. Now, you got Jeremiah talking about during that time period. The scribes were changing the law, changing Torah, writing lying things in Torah. You have Zephaniah prophesying a destruction was going to come because of what the priest had done violence to the law. They had profaned the holy. You got Enoch saying during that time period, there was a forsaking of wisdom. None of these people are talking about this great reformation that Josiah done. Nobody is talking about how great this reformation that Josiah did and how he got rid of the wicked things and how the scribes was able to give him the law and he was able to give the law to the people. I guess everybody forgot about that. I guess Jeremiah forgot about that. I guess Zephaniah forgot about that. I guess Enoch, whoever wrote Enoch, forgot about that. Now, isn't it also strange when the book of the law was found, Jeremiah said he ate it. When the words was found, he ate it. Why didn't Josiah go to Jeremiah the prophet? Why did Josiah go to the prophetess? See, all of these things make you wonder what's really going on here. But somebody is lying. Somebody changed some things. So now we got the lion pens of the scribes. I know we got all of my Torah lovers out there. These people pro Torah, they love Torah because they don't even know the background of what all went on with Torah. They don't know when Torah was completed. They don't know when things was added to it or when things were subtracted from it. They don't know none of that. But when the Messiah came on the scene, when the Messiah came on the scene, let me show you how the Messiah says, hey, I'm going to clean up all of that foolishness. All of that foolishness that's going on, y'all don't even know what's going on. We know what we worship. Y'all don't even know what y'all worship. All of these things didn't happen. All of these remixes, y'all really can't be believing what Moses is talking about anyway. Here goes the Messiah. He said, hey, I'm going to fix all of this. This is how the Messiah fixed it. First of all, the Messiah, he got his own scribes. He got his own prophets. He don't need what Israel had going on. For the kingdom of heaven, he set up his own stuff. Matthew 23:34. Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes. You see, I send unto you prophets. The Messiah has his own prophets. He don't need to what happens in the old to happen during his ministry. I send unto you prophets and wise men. He has his own elders. He has his own knowledgeable people. And scribes. He has his own writers. This is how the Messiah corrected the lying Torah. Okay, let's continue on. John 14:6. Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. So it doesn't matter who lied on what law in the Torah. It doesn't matter now. When the Messiah comes upon the scene, it doesn't matter if people are following the Talmud or the Essenes or the Lion Torah or whatever Torah that they had at that time. It didn't matter because Christ said he is the way, the truth, and the life. So you don't need to go through that system anymore. Let's show you how Christ is correcting the lying Torah. John 5:43-47. Because people look at this and say, hey, the Messiah was he was promoting Torah. Verse 43. I am come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him ye will receive. How can ye believe which receive honor one of another and seek not the honor that cometh from God only? All right, so that's pretty much piggybacking off of that Antichrist figure. Do not think that I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuseth you, even Moses, in whom you trust. And when you drop this is how you drop that ball. This is how you drop that ball. There's only one that accuseth you, Moses. Revelation 12, verse number, let me see here, 10. And I heard with a loud voice saying in heaven, guess who's else in heaven? The Father. According to the Messiah, the one that's with the Father that's accusing people was Moses. Let me say it again. According to the Messiah, the only person that was in heaven accusing people before the Father was Moses, according to the Messiah. Revelation 12:10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. The accuser of our brethren that accused them before our God day and night. What did the Messiah say again? For my law loving Moses followers, what did the Messiah say again? Oh, I know it's a hard pill to swallow. This is what the Messiah said once again. Do not think I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuseth you, even Moses, in whom ye trust. Now, verse 46. For had ye believed Moses, ye would have believed me, for he wrote of me. And people use verse 46 to say, see, you got to go through Torah because Moses wrote Torah. And if Moses wrote Torah, then Torah is what the Messiah is, and the Messiah was talking about. Must we forget that Jeremiah had already prophesied that people was remixing what Moses brought out? So if people was remixing in the days of Jeremiah and in the days of Zephaniah, when Moses brought out, then why do you believe that Christ is talking about the Torah in which you believe is the truth and you should follow? Second of all, we can clearly understand when he said Moses wrote of me, because when I do this right here, watch me do this. Watch me do and show Moses, because you remember Jeremiah, they was using the book of Deuteronomy. They was using the book of Deuteronomy for the covenant. So when Christ said Moses wrote of me, woe and behold, what happened when I go to Deuteronomy? Deuteronomy 18, 15 through 19. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from, in fact, let me go to the JPS. The priest, hold on, sorry. A prophet will the Lord thy God raise up unto thee from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me, unto him ye shall hearken, according to all that thou didst desire of the Lord thy God in Horeb, in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And the Lord said unto me, they have well said that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I should command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. So you see, when the Lord said, Moses spoke of me, in fact, once you go to Acts 7, just in case people try to flip it, you go to Acts 7:35. This Moses, whom they refused, saying, who made thee a ruler and a judge? The same did God send to be a ruler and a deliverer out of the hand of the angel which appeared to him in the bush. So right there, he says it's the angel that appeared to him in the bush. That's another topic for another day. And he brought them out. After that, he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and in the wilderness 40 years. This is that Moses, which said unto the children of Israel, a prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brethren, like unto me, him shall ye hear. So we clearly see, everybody understood when Moses was talking about the Messiah, that's the verses they go to. Okay? They don't go to some text that somebody could have remixed. That's not what they're doing. They're going to the exact text that Moses wrote about him. And the reason why the Messiah is quoting that and speaking on Moses is because of this. Once you go back to John 5, John 5:47. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Christ is telling them, Moses told you guys to listen to me. Moses told you guys to listen to me. This is what Christ is explaining to them in John 5. Christ is not explaining to them everything in Torah is about me. That's ridiculous when in Matthew 5, Christ is telling them how he don't believe in an eye for an eye, which is in Torah. So that can't be about him. He said he don't believe in the divorce for any reason, which is in Torah. So that can't be about him. Christ said he believes a different type of adultery is more than just taking the woman. It's also just looking after her for lust. So that can't be about him. So you see how you guys have flipped what the Messiah is saying to produce your love for Moses, which they didn't already explain had been flawed by the scribes. I'm getting ready to wrap this up, y'all. I'm getting ready to wrap this up. You go to John 10. John 10:10. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. Hold on, I thought the Torah said they was going to give life. Christ said, no, I am the one that's going to give the life. John 5:39. Search the scriptures, for in them ye think you have eternal life. And they are they which testify of me. So Christ is saying the scriptures that they was looking at for life and etc., it should only be thought of as a testimony, because the true bread, the true word, the true Torah was the Messiah and what he brought out. John 11:25 states this. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believeth thou this? You see how the Messiah is trying to correct all of the inaccuracies and the inadequateness of Torah? The Messiah is come and correcting it and bringing things back to him so he can introduce them to the Father. And this is my last statement, and I will be done. Y'all notice in Deuteronomy 18 and 18. Let me see if I can find it real fast. What I was just looking at. Uh I'm gonna start at 15 again. Maybe I can find it. A prophet will the Lord thy God raise up unto thee from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me, unto him ye shall hearken. Now I want to go to 15 from the KJV. It says, the Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me, like unto me. Unto him ye shall hearken. Now you notice how Moses said, like unto me. That's what Moses said, right? Like unto me. So when I go to Deuteronomy 31:1, it says, and Moses went and spake these words unto all Israel. And he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day. So you see how it said, Moses went and said, I. This is showing you that a scribe is writing this. The scribe is writing this, and the scribe is saying what Moses done and said. The scribe is not, Moses is not writing and saying, Moses said, blah, 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 I am 100 years old. blah, blah, blah. And Moses did this, blah, 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 blah. And I died. That's not what's going on. We're reading the information from scribes that either have passed down knowledge or things, or even some of the texts that Moses presented, and they're writing it together for the people. Moses is not writing in third person, back to first person, back to third person, back to first person. That being said, scribes are all throughout the Bible. So, the scribes were the people who were supposed to keep the words of the Lord as accurate as possible. According to Jeremiah, dealing with the law, the scribes got off. When we get to the New Testament, the Lord gets rid of all of that old stuff that was inaccurate, and he brought in the new eternal kingdom that's everlasting. And all the old things were passed away with all of its inaccuracies, and all the new things replaced it. Thank you all for listening in. I just wanted to show how the Lord himself corrected the lying Torah. Thank you all. All right, thank y'all for listening as well. This is Elvin Israel from the Assembly of Sound Doctrine. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, like, share, leave comments and everything. All right, y'all. Be blessed.